Most people don't realize this about Mississippi. As someone from Mississippi, here's what I actually experienced. People down here are 50-50. Actually, what I mean by that is 50% together and 50% divided. Yes, they pick and choose down here. And if you know, you know. Now, I do know that this video is finna piss a lot of y'all off. I can't be 1 in 10,000. Just sit back and let it keep happening. I am victim to a lot of white folks that love to pull their card, especially when they feel like they got the advantage. For example, a job. For example, at the dealership, apartment complexes. Like, you just gotta make it make sense. I can go on, and there's plenty more. The message that I'm trying to get through is Mississippi is not like the other states. It's a lot of racism going on with y'all there too. It's a lot of them still think that we back in the 1800s. And they really trying to do the modern day slavery. And y'all love to picture it as just not qualified. But who's gonna tell Jimmy the only reason he got in before Daquan did was because the fact I'ma just label his ass, he knows somebody. A year later, because you know it's always hard for us black people to get in at the same time, but a year later, Daquan got a full scholarship, running faster than Jimmy could ever be. That shit is built inside of us, man. And I don't care what you try to do, you can't stop this, man. This video is not for all. Genuinely, shout out to the ones that are trying to make a change and be on our side. And believe there is no difference between skin color, you and I. It's all love.
Egg is drenched with our blood. Because you see, so many of our ancestors was killed because we have never accepted slavery. We had to live on it, but we've never wanted it. So we know that this flag is drenched with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man, as we know this country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up. That's what they're saying. And people ought to understand that. I don't see why they don't understand it. They know what they've done to us. All across this country. They know.
4 black people.
No way. So, today we are examining the deep-seated historical and the modern tension in Mississippi. From the state derived ratificant of 13th Amendment, perspective economic and systematic handle of resident described environment well, systematic bias remain daily reality. So, most Almighty community members are calling for accountability following the series of suspicious death. I hope you understand that. Suspicious death involving in young black men, including Nolan Welles, Damian Camelon, and Trey investigation in a local autopsy, ruling and the systematic oversight. So before we continue, I want to give credit to our original creators of TikTok clips used in this video. All clips belong to the respective creators and are used there for commentary, news report, and education purpose only. So let's continue.
Mississippi under suspicious circumstances, all examined by Dr. Stacy Turner, who ruled every single one no foul play. Give us your medical license, bitch. She performed the autopsy of Nolan Wells, who drowned on Horn Island, surrounded by white families who never got him home, had all of his belongings, including his phone, wiped some of his data from it, never notified his family, and don't have their story straight. Dr. Stacy Turner ruled this no foul play and refuses to release the results of her preliminary autopsy, but is keeping back the throat, lungs, and stomach from the family's new private medical examiner for further testing. She also performed Damian Cameron's autopsy, who was tased, beat, and had his neck shoved into the fucking ground by cops. And then minutes later, he fucking died in the cop car. Her noted cause of death was undetermined. And after other experts examined his body, they ruled it a homicide. This also happened to Shannon Wilson, who accidentally drowned while playing with a group of white boys at the lake. Dr. Stacy Turner ruled this accidental with no further investigation. And lastly, Trey Reed, who was found hanged on a tree outside his university. She ruled this no foul play, and yet the FBI has been investigating this for about a year now with no answers. So we gotta sign this petition, reach out to her office, and call your fucking representatives. Dr. Stacy Turner very clearly has a racial bias and should not be having her fucking hands on black bodies, let alone any bodies. Share this story and make some noise so we can get someone without a racist fucking agenda.
That's true.
Most people don't realize this about Mississippi or even realize what it's like being black. You want to know why they hate us so bad? Because we just better in all aspects. Sport, music, art, the way we wear our hair, the fashion. They just hate to see us in the spotlight. Their biggest fear is a black man walking in the room and all the attention shifts to him. And it's not so much of, who is this guy? They want to know how. And then they try to find out what they could do to stop him. Know them well, he was the spotlight. And I don't care what you say. You can get mad, you can stay in the comment section. But they took away his spotlight. They didn't want him to be great. They didn't like the aura that he carried. We're just naturally good at everything. And here's the sad thing. We're not trying to do that. We're just being ourselves. And how can y'all have so much hate for somebody that's just being themselves? One thing about it, you might hear a lot about a black person killing a black person, but what you don't understand, push come to shove, forbid something bad happen, I guarantee you, the black community will stand up. Just like y'all thought the black community wouldn't stand up on this case with Nolan Wells. We ain't letting it go. Not gonna let it go. This will be history. Your kids' gonna hear about it. And their kids gonna hear about it. Because we deserve that recognition. We deserve for these cases to be solved and not undetermined. Whether he did drown, you still have to hold them accountable for leaving him. And that's what we're trying to get y'all to understand. And it's so much going on besides just Nolan Wells guy. It's so much stuff that y'all don't see that the internet just don't broadcast down here in Mississippi. And I know y'all tired of me flooding y'all timeline with these Mississippi. But I really just want y'all to know. I really want y'all to understand that not only I can question this fact every day, I'm giving you firsthand what God is telling me to do. And before I started making these videos, I already knew what this was going to come with. I already knew the chances of people that was going to be against it. But I am God's child, and that is what you don't want to miss with. The message I came to give today is before you come up with any type of plan, make sure God okay with it first. Because I'm telling you, that is my protection. And y'all can go in my comment section, oh, there is no God. Oh, there is nothing. The Son is God. Trust me, I don't want to hear it. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to hear it. You need to get closer to God. Maybe he might give you the urge to speak up. If you got time to scroll on this phone, you got time to spend with God. And I'm asking y'all to pray for Mississippi and keep spreading awareness. Don't let up.
Just so we are clear, none of this is okay and none of this is normal. It has been 1 week since the body of Gerard Jackson was found hanging in a wooded area in Michigan right outside the Electric Forest Festival that he was attending. His death was ruled a suicide. It has been a little over 2 weeks since the body of Tone Miller was found hanging in a park in Miami. Her death ruled a suicide. It has been a little over 2 months since the body of Juliana, 16-year-old, found hanging near a church in Charlotte.
My God.
Her death ruled a suicide. It has been about 4 months since the body of Kyle Basinga was found in Georgia hanging. None of this is okay, and none of this is normal. It has been less than a year, it will be a year in September, when they found Trey Reed's body at Delta State University in Mississippi. His death ruled a suicide. And you may be asking, Rashonda, well, how many black people walk around with rope on them? The answer would be none, Helen. 0. Because none of this is okay, and none.
Jesus.
Here's what I believe after growing up here in Mississippi. Not only did I cover the topic about racism, but I also addressed the fact about the Nolan Wells case. I want to understand that all y'all might not agree, and it's not for all y'all to agree. I'm here to be honest, speak on topics that y'all might be uncomfortable with. For me, all I want is answers. All I want is a good reason on why. We just all trying to get by, man. There is no reason. There is no reason. Y'all rather stay divided. You just hate to be in the same category as a black man. What I really believe about being in Mississippi is that it will never change. It's gonna stay divided. No matter how hard you try to change that, it's gonna stay divided. But I got something to tell you though. I got two main points that I want to make here right now for the ones watching. James chapter 2 verse 9, showing partiality when favoritism is a sin. Remember, you don't have to answer to me. You gotta answer to that man upstairs. Romans chapter 2 verse 11, God does not show partiality or treat one group better than another. As bad as it might seem, us black people love y'all because we have family members that are also the same color as y'all. Have you noticed that every black person support every race group just for them to turn their back on us? Tell me I'm lying. But
You are not lying.
Mississippi did not abolish slavery until 2013. And the only reason it happened is because a professor went to go see a movie. Yes, this is not a joke, this is a fact. And the deeper you go into the history of this state, the darker it gets. And what I'm about to walk you through is something that most Americans have never been told. And every single thing I'm about to say is historically documented. So let's start at the beginning. In 1865, the 13th Amendment was ratified, abolishing slavery across the United States. 27 of the 36 states at the time voted in favor of it. Mississippi was not one of them. Mississippi rejected the 13th Amendment, and their reason? Well, their lawmakers were upset that they had not been compensated for the value of the freed slaves. Think about it. They wanted to get paid for the value of what human beings were worth. So let that sit for a second. The rest of the country was moving to end one of the greatest atrocities in human history. And Mississippi's response was, we're not signing unless you pay us for the people we can no longer own. That should tell you everything you need to know about where this story is headed. After rejecting the amendment in 1865, Mississippi did nothing about it for 130 years. While the rest of the country was moving forward, Mississippi was going backwards and ratified the 13th Amendment. See, it wasn't until 1995 that the Mississippi State Legislature finally voted to ratify it. The vote was unanimous, but here's the thing. After the vote, the Secretary of State never filed the paperwork with the federal government. So technically, it was never official. Abolishing slavery was apparently not important enough to make sure the paperwork got filed. For 130 years, nobody acted on it. And when they finally did, nobody followed through. So you tell me if that sounds like an accident. So how did it finally get resolved? In 2012, a professor at the University of Mississippi Medical Center named Dr. Ranjan Batra went to see the Steven Spielberg film Lincoln. The movie tells the story of how the 13th Amendment was passed. After watching it, Dr. Batra got curious and started researching what happened after the amendment was ratified. That's when he discovered that Mississippi had never officially completed the process. He told a colleague named Ken Sullivan. Sullivan contacted the Mississippi Secretary of State, who agreed to file the paperwork. On February 7, 2013, the federal government confirmed that Mississippi had officially ratified the 13th Amendment. Shout out to Steven Spielberg, by the way. 148 years after slavery was supposed to be abolished, because a professor watched a movie and got curious. Now, to understand why none of this is an accident, you need to know what happened during Reconstruction. After the Civil War, Black Mississippians were given the right to vote for the very first time, and they showed up. By the late 1860s, nearly 97% of eligible Black men in Mississippi had registered to vote, and they used that power. Mississippi elected 13 Black state senators and 102 Black state representatives. They had a Black lieutenant governor, Alex K. Davis, 2 Black secretaries of state, James D. Lynch and James Hill, a Black superintendent of education, Thomas Cardozo, and in 1870, Mississippi sent the first Black man in American history to the United States Senate. His name was Hiram Revels. Black Mississippians weren't just participating in government, they were building it. They created the state's first public school system. They passed civil rights legislation. They were transforming the state. And that terrified the white power structure. Now, what happens next is one of the most deliberate acts of political suppression in American history. See, white Democrats in Mississippi used violence, intimidation, and murder to take back control. They stuffed ballot boxes. They committed perjury at polling sites. They used armed militias to terrorize black voters. A Mississippi judge in 1890 even admitted it openly. He said they had been preserving the ascendancy of the white people by revolutionary methods. A Mississippi judge in 1890 even admitted it openly. He said that they had been preserving the ascendancy of the white people by revolutionary methods and that they had been stuffing the ballot boxes, committing perjury, and carrying the elections by fraud and violence. Then in 1890, Mississippi rewrote its entire state constitution. The new constitution included poll taxes, literacy tests, and an understanding clause. All of them were designed to do one thing: prevent black people from voting without explicitly saying so. The literacy tests were administered by white registrars who had full discretion over who passed and who failed. If you were black, you failed. If you were white and couldn't read, they let you through with a grandfather clause that tied your voting rights to whether your grandfather could vote before 1867. Since black people were enslaved before...
That is not good. That is not good. Let's continue watching.
Automatically excluded. The results were immediate. Black voter registration collapsed. By 1892, less than 6% of eligible black men were registered to vote in a state where they were the majority of the population. Every other southern state looked at what Mississippi did and copied it, and they called it the Mississippi Plan. And here is the part that connects everything. Mississippi has the largest black population percentage of any state in the entire country. Nearly 40% of the state is black, and yet there has never been a black governor in the state of Mississippi. Not once in over 200 years. And it just goes beyond just the governor. Mississippi has not elected a single black person to any statewide office since the 19th century. And that's over 130 years of zero black statewide officials in the blackest state in America. The black political power that existed during Reconstruction, the senators, the representatives, the secretaries of state, the superintendent of education, all of it was systematically destroyed and it never came back. The 1890 Constitution that was designed to strip black people of their political power created structural barriers so effective that they are still producing results over 130 years later. So let's put the full picture together. Mississippi rejected the 13th Amendment in 1865 because they wanted to be paid for their slaves.
So that is true. What you have to do is to listen carefully.
30 years to vote on it again. When they finally did in 1995, they didn't even file the paperwork. A professor watching a movie in 2012 is the only reason it got corrected. In between, they rewrote their entire state constitution to strip black citizens of the right to vote. They used violence, fraud, and illegal manipulation to destroy black political power. And today, in 2026, in a state where 4 in 10 people are black, there has never been a black governor and not a single black person who has held a statewide office in over 130 years. Now, you tell me if that's oversight. This is American history that most Americans have never been taught. And the reason it matters today is because the systems that were put in place to suppress black political power in Mississippi didn't just disappear. Many of them evolved, and many of them still exist today in different forms. norms. Listen, if this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to see it, okay? And subscribe for more content like this.
If you black and you stay in Mississippi, my heart goes out to you, man, for real. You are in a war that you ain't even know that started, man. I'm talking to the young black men, by the way, the ones who worked hard to gain a career, mastered the craft, and still yet taking losses after losses after losses because of how YT people feel off of their emotions and how they feel about you, bro. Sad truth is, they'll give the white tea people chance after chance after chance. You make one mistake, bro, you gone. That's just the game us black people will never play. Very forgiving, heartfelt. Ain't no hate in our heart like that, man. One thing about it, God sees everything, man. So don't worry. They have to answer on Judgment Day. They have to stand before God, the man who sees everything. Point is, man, if you lost your job due to this fact in Mississippi, they put you in a bad position. It's cool. I uploaded a video yesterday evening explaining how black people have a hard time down here in Mississippi, and there's still a lot of prejudice, white people, and a lot of racism still going on down here. And it seems to me that my comment section got flooded with a whole lot of criticism. Now, if you can go back to my video and watch, disclosure was that wasn't for all white people. I made that video for specifically the people who know who they are. The ones that know that they treat us with slick intentions. It's like you can work around these people 24/7 and they'll smile, be all buddy-buddy with you like everything's okay. But the moment you turn your back, and some even do it in your face, they will put you the fuck down. You saying wrong? Okay then, that YT person you know so well, let them get around their friends and you will see how well they've been hiding that shit with you. Cause I even had some of my brothers in the comment section times to me like you were Uncle Tom. Now, I'm not racist at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't have no problem with white people. I don't have to prove it to you because the people who know me knows me.
So here is what can I say about Mississippi. It's an ongoing struggle. So I highlight how historical inequity continue to shape the modern day reality. As a family demand justice for federal security, glow over these local cases, the question will remain whether the rest nation will address this systematic pattern. Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this? So if you are new here, please kindly consider subscribe, like, share. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Really, we appreciate. See you next in another episode. Ciao.